Welcome to your imagination stimulation. We are here early, but it's still yet a sleepover. And on this simulation, of course, we have you guys as the guest of honor. We have Oreo Jr. He's using his imagination and being a SpongeBob character as always. We got Scott. We got me here, and I'm one of the boys today.
Yeah, I can see.
Abe Lincoln, even. I feel like Abe Lincoln right
All
now.
right, you look like Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, I do. Oh my gosh, I got a stovetop hat. Anyway, so let's get started. Today we are reading from Still More Tales for the Midnight Hour by J.B Stamper. And the story we're gonna throw Oreo back here with this cat. Ugh, y'all see that cat. Anyway, and the story today is called The Wax Museum. Oh, Scott, are you scared?
I'm scared.
I know y'all scared. Okay, but don't be scared because here we go. There's nothing to be scared of. Period. Let's just end it right there. Psych. Okay, we're gonna keep going. The oldest boy in the class said in a bragging voice, "The people are just made of wax, like candles." Still, the group of boys had slowed down to a shuffling pace, stepping on each other's heels and unconsciously herding together for safety. They were walking through the dimly lit entrance to the wax museum. Mr. Archer, their history teacher, was busy back at the admissions desk paying for their tickets. I hear this place has all of the unalivers in history, one young boy said nervously. Okay, girl, y'all, okay. And then we just gonna call this one Claire's son. That's his mama name. You know who I'm talking about? His last name started with a H. Hitler. Claire's son. We just gonna call him Claire's son from now on because that was her name. Claire's son. Claire's son, even. An uneasy giggle swept over the group. They had all heard stories about Claire's son. What would he look like? Girl, y'all know what he looked like, y'all. Mr. Archer has said the wax figures seem so real that you sometimes forgot they were wax. Girl, y'all got that Sherlock Holmes wax figure up in there too? The one we had for that last case?
Yeah.
Just as the boys came to a wooden door at the end of the hallway, Mr. Archer hurried up from behind them. All right, boys, he said in his deep official voice. Oh, I got to do it again. All right, boys. Did I sound like a man?
You did.
Like the man I am?
Official and everything.
All right, boys. I sound like Mr. Man from a scary movie. Or Mrs. Man. I think it was Miss Man. Anyway, we're ready to begin our tour. The museum director has agreed to let me take you around since I've been here so often. Now, everyone pair up and stand in a straight line. There were a few minutes of pushing and shoving as the boys found partners and lined up. Mr. Archer looked over the group and noticed that, as usual, Andrew and Robbie had paired together. It's always them two kids that you know are going to just do too damn much. And they always love to get together. I don't know if anybody's been on field trips with children, but boy, oh boy. He would have to watch them, but perhaps they would be good today. They won't, sir. Come along then, Mr. Archer said importantly, opening the door in front of them to reveal a long, narrow room. An aisle ran down the center of the room, and on both sides were displays of people in historical costumes. Okay, period. The boys slowly filed in, their faces lit with amazement. They look so alive. It's creepy, a young boy said. That's Julius Caesar being stabbed by Brutus and his friends, one said, pointing his finger to a group of men in Roman togas. Ooh, look at that blood, another boy said. It still looks wet. Okay, girl.
All right.
Mr. Archer chuckled as the boys broke out of line and scrambled to see the exhibits. Then he saw Andrew and Robbie standing together by the door, whispering to each other. They ain't up to no good. I would have made them stand by me. I'd be like, y'all two come here. And one on this side, one on the other, and shut up. Because y'all not going to play with me. I'm part of y'all group. Y'all part of my group. Whatever. Boys, come on in the room, he said impatiently. Andrew and Robbie stopped whispering and obediently walked up to the first exhibit. They stared down at Julius Caesar's body, which was covered with knife wounds. That's something wonderful to show children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caesar's eyes were staring up at his unalivers, and his face was twisted in the agony of unaliving. Okay.
All right.
This gives me the creeps, Robbie said. Not me. I think it's great, Andrew said, because I'm a sociopath. No, I'm kidding. It's like all these unalive people have come alive again. You're weird, Robbie said. So is the museum, Andrew answered. I agree with Andrew. I'm team Andrew. Andrew, right. I wonder what we could do to add a little more excitement to this place. Oh boy. Both boys turned to look at Mr. Archer, who was watching them with distrustful eyes. Why don't we just look at exhibits? Said Robbie, turning away from Caesar's bloody body. I don't want to get into any trouble here. Robbie stopped in front of another group of wax figures. In the center was Henry VIII, standing with his hands on his hips and his eyes staring straight ahead. I look just like him. Oh, wait, I got to look sovereign.
Okay.
What do you think, Scott? What do y'all think? Did I look sovereign like a king?
You did.
I feel like you just got to open your eyes real wide. Period. Behind the king stood a wax figure of an executioner holding a double-edged axe in his hand, because this is what you want children to know. On the ground below him was a wax figure of Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's wives. She was waiting to have her head chopped off at the orders of her husband, the king, because that is not going to turn these children into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No. Look at that ring on Henry's finger, Andrew whispered. What a great souvenir it will be. Sir, you are going to be in prison when you grow up. Just FYI, because this is the things you want to get into at a museum, sir, on a field trip. Like, these are the things you're thinking of. Andrew, Robbie said in a scared whisper, don't. But Andrew didn't pay any attention to him. He checked to see if Mr. Archer and the other boys were looking. Most of them had walked further on down the aisle of exhibits. Andrew reached his hand towards the king's left hand. He touched the cold wax of the fingers. Then he put his fingers around the ring and tugged at it. It slipped down a bit, but got stuck over the finger's waxy knuckle. Andrew, Robbie, Mr. Archer's voice called from down the aisle. Don't lag behind. Come along. I would have made them hold my hands. Both of them. I would have embarrassed them. Andrew quickly pulled his hand away from the ring. He glanced at the wax image of King Henry's face before leaving. The hard eyes were staring straight at him. Remember, like, because kings look like that.
Right.
I'm making Scott nervous. He won't even make eye contact.
No.
They even seemed to follow him as he walked away. This place might be getting to me, Andrew said to Robbie. I thought old Henry looked a little angry. You're going to get us into trouble, Robbie murmured. Andrew looked at him with a sneer. You're turning out to be some coward, Robbie. Maybe I should get a new friend. Robbie shook his head so hard that his glasses almost fell off. It was like, oh. Andrew was his only friend. The two boys walked down the aisle to catch up with Mr. Archer and the rest of the classes. This right here gonna be my lesson right here. Peer pressure. Just peer pressure. Peer pressure is crazy. Who knows the name of this great man? Mr. Archer asked as he pointed to a short man in a military uniform standing in front of the map of Europe. Who y'all think it is? Scott, who do you think it is? Who do you guys think it is? Put it in the comments. Yeah, I think it is. The man had a scowl on his face and one hand pushed inside of his jacket front. Period. Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France, said the smartest boy in class. That's correct, Mr. Archer said, beaming at the boy. This is Napoleon, the great conqueror of Europe, who was finally defeated at Waterloo. Now, if you'll move along, we'll visit the more modern exhibits in the next room. Hold up. We gonna take a pause for the cause for Napoleon. Napoleon was that dude, honey. Okay? He was that dude in them streets during that time. Him, Genghis Khan, Shaka Zulu, all of them, honey. They were some heavy hitters. Okay? Just in case y'all were wondering. The class followed Mr. Archer through a set of heavy velvet curtains into the next room. Robbie started off after them, but Andrew pulled him back. Here we go. Look what I found, Andrew said, opening his hand to show Robbie something. Robbie peered down at a shiny piece of metal on his outstretched palms. It's a pen. Where'd you get it? I found it on the floor at home just before I came here. I thought, no, Robbie said, you can't do it. We'll be arrested. What is he going to do?
I don't know.
And why are you picking up pens at the house and bringing it to the museum, sir? Like, you gonna be arrested when you get older, sir. This ain't gonna go so well. Calm down, Andrew said. Nobody will ever know. I just want to find out if these things are really made of wax. What else would they be made of, sir? Cottage cheese? Like, what else would they be made of? Andrew picked up the pen and leaned his long arm against the railing in front of the exhibit of Napoleon. He could just reach the emperor's left shoulder. With a quick jab, he pushed the pen through the costume and into the wax. Robbie let out a short scream. Be quiet. What's the matter with you? Andrew said, quickly pulling out the pen. Napoleon moved. I saw him move, Robbie stammered. When you stuck the pen in, his face moved like it hurt. Andrew looked at Robbie in disgust, like, do I look disgusted?
You look disgusted.
Yeah. I can't believe you're such a coward. Look, you can see the wax in the pen. These people may look real, but they're just wax. Robbie saw the coating of white wax on the pen. Then he looked again at Napoleon's face and ran down the aisle to join Mr. Archer. Andrew trailed behind, hiding the pen in his pocket. You gonna get poked too, sir. Mr. Archer was standing in a large round room that had exhibits all along its edges. He was telling the class a story. Robbie and Andrew just heard the end, and still today, we think of him as the monster of the 20th century. Clara's son, Robbie said as he pointed to the man with the short mustache and a brown Yahtzee uniform. All right, boys, Mr. Archer said. There are many more interesting exhibits in this room. You can look around and ask me any questions you like. He paused and looked at his watch. But in a half an hour, we'll be boarding the bus. I promise that I will have you back to in the school parking lot at 3:15. I don't have to go back, Andrew whispered to Robbie. My parents are both away on vacation, and they didn't take you. Why?
Good time.
Because they knew you would get them thrown out of some places because you're a terrible child, honey. And I'll be staying at home alone. You're lucky your parents trust you, Robbie said. Especially since they shouldn't, Andrew added. Let's take a closer look at Clara's son. The rest of the class was looking at different figures in the modern history room. Winston Churchill, FDR or Franklin D. Roosevelt, JFK or John F. Kennedy, Mahatma Gandhi, and others. Andrew and Robbie stood alone in front of the exhibit of Clara's son and his Yahtzee officers. Even his mustache looks real, Robbie said, staring at Clara's son's short, dark mustache. I wonder if it's made of real hair, Andrew said. Turn around, Robbie, and keep a watch on everyone else. Tell me when they're not looking. What are you going to do? Asked Robbie in a worried voice. Just be quiet and tell me when no one is looking, Andrew insisted, I should say. Robbie watched nervously for a few moments. Finally, the moment came when everyone's back was turned to them. Now, he whispered. Robbie turned around just as Andrew reached out his hand to Clara's son's face and pulled at the hair of his mustache. It won't come loose. It's like this. Because mine is real.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Just real. See how I didn't come loose?
Yeah.
Something like that. He gave it another hard tug. Robbie screamed as Andrew's hand came back holding a small tuft of hair. Everyone in the room turned to stare at them. What's going on, boys? Mr. Archer asked, hurrying over. Nothing, sir, Andrew said, hiding his hand behind his back. I thought I saw Clara's son's hand move, Robbie stammered. He has a wild imagination, Andrew broke in to say. Mr. Andrew looked from Robbie to Andrew to the wax figure of Clara's son. Don't be ridiculous, Robbie. This is just a wax figure. Then he walked away, shaking his head. His hand did move, Andrew, Robbie whispered in a scared voice. Just when you pulled a part of the mustache out, he started to hit you. Sure, Robbie, sure, Andrew said, ignoring his friend. How do you like my souvenir? He displayed the tuft of hair in his outstretched hands. I just wish I had that ring on Henry VIII's hand. Suddenly, Andrew's face lit up with a smile. That would have scared the hell out. My heart would have dropped. I know what to do. And you've got to help me, Robbie. No, Andrew, forget it, Robbie said. Come on. All you have to do is tell Mr. Archer that I went home early because I felt sick. My parents aren't home to miss me. Sir, even when they home, they don't miss you. Okay? And I could spend the night in the museum. What? Robbie said. I'm going to spend the night here. Think of all the things I could do with nobody around watching me. Andrew glanced quickly around the room. Then he walked over to a tall wall that was covered by long, heavy velvet curtains. He pulled the curtains aside and looked behind them. There's enough room for me to hide here, he whispered. All you have to do is cover for me. You decide right now whether or not you're going to be my friend. See, I would have reversed Uno'd him. This would have been a reverse Uno. I'm like, no, sir, what you gonna decide is if you gonna be my friend because I'm not gonna help you. And because I'm not your friend, I'm gonna tell on you. Period. So you're going home either way. Period.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robbie said. Okay. Andrew took a quick look around the room and then slipped behind the curtains. Robbie walked away to join Mr. Archer and tell him the lie. Andrew woke up with a sudden start. Yeah. For a moment, he wasn't sure where he was. Then he remembered the Wax Museum. He was behind the curtain in the Wax Museum. He had fallen asleep earlier in the night because the air was so hot and musty. He pulled back the curtains and peered out. The museum was empty and closed. Only a few security lights shone on the exhibits. Andrew checked his watch. 2 minutes after midnight. Now, if this was today, he would not have anything to check because his phone battery would have been dead. So you got that good Casio on? That good Timex? Yeah. He wondered what had woken him at this hour. Just then, he heard the tapping of something against the wood. Any requests? That was Beyonce, Run the World.
All
Period.
right.
And you put the request in the comment section, huh?
That was what I was gonna request.
Period. Put what your request in the comment section. He turned to look at the exhibit where Clara's son stood. A feeling of sickening horror swept over him. Clara's son was tapping a wooden map pointer against his desk. He was pointing around the room and talking to his officers. Andrew pinched himself hard to make sure he wasn't having a terrible nightmare. Just then, he saw Clara's son's dark, beady eyes meet his. Clara's son let out a scream and barked orders at his officers. Andrew watched with terror as they began to move from the exhibit and climb over the railing into the room. You in trouble, huh? Andrew scrambled to his feet and ran for the exit. He glanced back to see Clara's son's angry face sneering at him. There was a red mark on his white face where Andrew had pulled off part of his mustache. Yeah, I would be mad too if somebody pulled off my beard. My very authentic, real beard.
Yeah.
Okay. That grew out my face. Andrew raced down the narrow hallway through the other exhibits. His heart was pounding wildly, and his brain was slowly turning panicky. He fumbled in his pocket for the tuft of hair that he had pulled from Clara's son's face. When he found it, he threw the hair on the floor and stumbled on. Sir, what can he do with that? The pounding of the German's feet was loud behind him, but Andrew gained distance on them as he turned the corner in the aisle. Then in front of him, he saw Napoleon. Hey, Napoleon, how you doing? The emperor slowly drew his hand out of his pocket and reached for his sword, period, from its sheath and leapt up over the railing. Andrew remembered the pin he had stuck in the wax figure. Yeah. Only the figure wasn't wax anymore. Napoleon was alive and breathing heavily, only a few feet behind him. Andrew could hear the swish of the sword in the air and feel the cool breeze it made on his neck. Sir, you about to lose your head and your life. In a wild panic, Andrew sped forward down the hallway. He knew that soon he would reach the entrance door to the museum. Perhaps a night guard was there. Perhaps he could even jump through a window for safety. Perhaps this nightmare would end if he only escaped through the wooden door. Then, ahead of him, he saw a huge figure step from the shadows. Uh-oh, baby. It's Big Daddy King Henry VIII. He stood in the middle of the hallway, barring Andrew's path, and that's a big man, honey. And King Henry VIII was like 400 pounds when he finally, went to the great beyond. So that's a big baby to block your door, baby. With a cruel smile on his face, the king pointed a finger at Andrew. The next morning, Robbie led Mr. Archer and the guard into the museum. Robbie hadn't been able to sleep all night worrying about Andrew. I wouldn't worry about him. I'll be worried about them figures that are in there because Andrew's, derelict. Finally, he had called Mr. Archer and told him what Andrew had done. The guard flicked on all the lights around the exhibits. Robbie started to rush towards the room at the end of the museum where Andrew had hidden. But when he passed the exhibit with King Henry VIII, he saw something that made him stop and scream. What do you think it is, Scott? What do you guys think it is? Put it in the comments. What you think it is, Scott?
Could be him without his head.
It could be anything. I'm going to tell y'all, though. Get your imagination ready. Anne Boleyn was no longer the kneeling figure beneath the executioner's axe. Andrew knelt there instead, his face set in a strange expression of terror. And when Robbie reached out to touch him, he felt only the hard, cold smoothness of wax.
Oh, wow.
And they all lived happily ever after.
Ah.
Period.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. One less little prisoner for the taxpayers to pay for, period. What did you think? What do you have any lessons learned? What did you guys think? Do you guys have any lessons learned? Put it down in the comment section. Did you learn anything from this story, Scott?
Yeah, don't go messing around with the unalive, even if they're wax.
Period. My lesson learned is this. Don't let peer pressure put you in positions that you don't want to be in. That little boy should have just been like, let me find a new friend, or I would have blackmailed him into being my friend, whatever. But do not let peer pressure, because peer pressure ain't just for children, honey. There are adults that get peer pressured into all kinds of stuff. Go watch For My Man and have an ID channel, okay? So don't let people peer pressure you. Have your own internal morals and goals and things of that nature. And if someone tries to put you outside of it, just tell them no is a complete sentence. Use the word no, period. What you guys got?
That's a good one.
Okay, y'all. Well, we're going to conclude our super scary Saturday sleepover.
All right.
This definitely was a life-changing sleepover. That's our, yeah, it changed this man's life. So with that, we thank you guys for coming, and we hope you enjoyed. We definitely enjoyed having you guys here with us.
Indeed.
we are going to come back because I gotta hitch a ride, baby. We gotta, do this to do. So we'll be coming back. I gotta get myself, dressed up for that. But anyway, from wherever we are to where, oh no, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe too. That's important. So from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace and love and happiness. And we'll see you guys later. Skinnamarink dinky dink. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Grow your beards out. It's cold out there. Grow them
Yeah.
beards out. Period. I'll see you guys later. Bye.